Welcome back to another episode of the Proposal Pulse. I am not Rachelle Ray, as you probably have guessed. I'm Janelle Poisel, Director of Content Marketing at OpenAsset, and I'm here because there have been a lot of questions, especially on our webinars and content that I work on with Rachelle, about efficiency hacks and what are the best tools and what should we do and what should we use to curate proposals and manage our proposal process. So I'm here to speak with Rachelle about that.
I'm so excited that you're here, Janelle. Yay. I am Rachelle Ray. I'm the head of AEC Marketing here at OpenAsset. I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm very ready. I'm very excited. As Rochelle and I have created content together over the last now over 2 years, but I wanted to see like what are the recurring trends, and it all comes down to best tools or even hacks or like Rochelle, how do you do this? You manage so many clients on such a high volume. What are your tips for people? This is something you've mentioned before, and so I wanted to ask you about it. What the heck is motion AI?
Motion AI, and I'm going to clarify motion with an M, not Notion, because everyone always thinks I'm talking about Notion, and I'm not. Motion is a scheduling tool where you give it all of your tasks and like the estimated durations for them, and it connects to your calendar, and then it magically schedules all of the tasks that you need to be completing in between all of your calendar events. And it shuffles them around based on what you get to or what takes longer. And it schedules breaks for you and stuff in between. It's crazy, crazy awesome. And it just keeps getting better. Like you can put in project workflows, you can give it an SOP, like a standard operating procedure, and it will like create a project workflow for you with built-in tasks. And then you're just like, oh, I'm going to start this proposal. And it's like, oh, okay, here's all of your proposal tasks for draft one, draft two, final, and close out. And it just automatically schedules them. I have been like super productive ever since I turned over my schedule to my AI overlords. So Motion is super, super helpful.
If you give it like a deadline, like let's say you're like, I need to finish this proposal by Friday, and it blocks time or it schedules time for you, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the scheduling is like the coolest part of it. So you can say this is a hard deadline. It is, April 30th. And then it kind of like backs out and says, okay, you have X number of tasks to do by that April 30th date. So we're going to say by April 15th, you'll have the first draft done. Here's the 5 tasks that you need to get done by then. And it schedules those magically. So it like figures out the best way for you to work. It's like a personal assistant for your brain. It's great.
Amazing. Okay, so now let's talk about a proposal management plan. What is that? How does it work?
Okay. I like to think of proposals as little mini projects. Architects run projects, engineers run projects. Proposal managers are also running projects. They just look a little different. So every project has a project management plan that tells you who is doing what needs to get done, what the scope is, the parameters. Proposal management plan is the exact same thing. It is all of the details that the entire proposal team needs to get this thing done. It's got your schedule, it's got all of your assignments. It's like a living document. It pulls out all of the response criteria, all of your compliance, all of your formatting and submission stuff. It's the thing I use to get the team on the same page. We go through it all at kickoff so everybody knows exactly what is due and when. And it just captures everything in one nice, neat little spot. It makes things super efficient because it puts everyone on the same page. They can all go reference it. I use a Google Doc and shared it with my teams, and so everyone can access it as I was updating it. And then I didn't have to answer a million emails either. Like, when did we say this was due? Or when do you need my edits back? It's in the management plan. Just go look.
What about the team who can't use Google Docs or don't have access to it or aren't currently on that system?
It works just as well as like a shared Microsoft Word document.
That's
Excel,
common.
I've seen a lot of Excel proposal management plans as well. I'm a big fan of use what works for you. And if that's where your team is, just put it in that shared folder. Mine always lives in the RFP folder, so you can see the RFP document and then the management plan document.
Do you find it's easier to get responses that way too? Because then it's not an endless string of emails. You can see, like, I highlighted this, Rochelle, here, look at this.
Yes. And I would also email it out afterward, even like, here's the link, but also it's attached. So they could save a local copy too, and color coding it super helps. Like it massively cut down on the number of inquiries and follow-ups I had on what the rest of the team's assignments were.
Yeah, the more we can get everyone in the same, even if it's just one document, even if it's the only document in the process where everyone's fully aligned, getting everyone in the same place. And speaking of getting everyone in the same place, what do you mean by getting everyone set up first?
Yes. So one of the other reasons that I use this proposal management plan is because I, as the proposal professional, know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I am the subject matter expert in proposals. I will run off and take care of all of my stuff. I will trust that my technical team members will, but they don't always know exactly what they're supposed to do. They don't always know exactly where they're supposed to go to get stuff. And so I make sure that I get the rest of the team set up before I start anything. I email all of our sub-consultants with the RFP and exactly what I need from them by exactly when. I set up my technical team members with, like, here's some past narratives that will help you answer this question that I need from you. If you're developing the schedule for me, I will extract schedule dates that might be helpful from the RFP and send those off so that everybody else has everything they need that I could possibly give them before I start. So they're all set, and then I go off.
Well, this reminds me a lot of something you mentioned in another video that you did about navigating tight proposal deadlines, where you mentioned if you know there are people who are outside of your control, getting them what they need ASAP. And this kind of falls into that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So now, because I think we've all been on meetings recently, and you'll see someone's little pop-up message that says, my little AI is taking notes for me. I just view them all as cute and adorable, so I can't help but call them little. What note taker tool do you prefer, or what have you seen work really well?
I love that you think that they're adorable and think of them as little. I also think of them as like nice little assistants. I am a
People
little
help.
bit tired of seeing just note takers showing up in like pre-proposal meetings and no people.
Oh
It defeats the
no.
purpose. We would like procurement to know that we care. So do show up with your note taker. I never use it as a replacement, is what I'm trying to say. My note taker comes into the meeting with me, and then I trust that it is going to take notes and action items and do the important transcribing so that I can actually engage in the discussion. So, like, filling out that proposal management plan. I do some of it on the spot, but for the most part, like, I'm just talking to the team and asking them questions, and I get to dig a little bit deeper. And then afterward, I can go to the transcript and be like, oh, okay, let me fill that in. Here's all the action items. I particularly like Firefly's AI because it does a really great job of breaking down action items and summarizing and telling you who did what. I also appreciate that it tells you who took up most of the talking time within the meeting. It's just a fun little statistic. And you can be like, oh, I did actually, in fact, lead this meeting. It was mine. Or somebody commandeered this. So we need to address that next time. But that's my go-to tool. I'm also, because Google Shop, really enjoying the new Gemini tools for transcription. I think those summaries are really, really helpful as well, and the action items are pretty solid too, but not quite as robust, I think, as the Firefly. But
Yeah. I
yeah.
think there's a lot to be said for being able to focus on the person you're talking to, because I think there's a lot that we download in the moment that if we're trying to also take notes, even if you're not the one taking notes, it's a little bit of a distraction. So it is nice that you can be Miranda Priestley and your intern is hurriedly taking notes beside you as you are able to just do your show-stopping thing. So I love that.
Janelle with a 10 out of 10. I love, love that. Yes.
But speaking of completely unrelated tangents, I would like to know what other tools you use. We talked about some hacks, ways to help efficiency in building proposals. But what about all the projects? What about all your resumes, all the other pieces that fold into this? What's a workflow that helps you achieve success?
It sounds like we've missed a really big, obvious tool. Uh,
Yeah,
oh, what is it? Oh, OpenAsset, maybe?
I have heard of OpenAsset. I have heard of
Have
Open. I have
you?
heard some good things. I've been lucky enough to sit in on many a case studies as our team works with customers directly a lot of times and helps to share their story. So we have some pretty exciting things that we hear from clients on how they're able to move things forward. And that's kind of what kicked off the proposal pulse and our passion even for working with Rachelle Ray is that we are here to empower the AEC marketer and especially proposal teams because we know how heavy your job, their job is. So I'm very, very proud to be part of OpenAsset, and I'm especially proud that we get to hear those stories where people are talking about the amazing things they've achieved with our digital asset management tool.
I'm really glad you said that because there are a lot of tools that can do a lot of really great things, and there are a lot of tools that can do a lot of the same things. And it's really rare to me to come across a solution whose people care so much about their end users. And that has been the thing that has struck me the most in the past couple of years of like working alongside you has been the number of times when somebody's been like, wait, what? That's what it's like in AEC marketing? Are you kidding me? Or can you tell me more about that? Because that's insane. I'm like, yeah, that's what we deal with every day. That's how it is. But I've been using OpenAsset since like 10 plus years. And I remember first getting to use it and was like, this is amazing. But having that single source of truth is absolutely incredible for a marketer. We have such chaos in our stuff because we're moving so fast and we are collecting so much from so many different sources that being able to trust that by the time it makes it into OpenAsset, this is best and final content. And I can always refer to that and know this is true as opposed to going back to an old proposal where we might have fudged some of the information a little bit. Like it's probably a $10 million project, but don't quote me on that. But I can go to OpenAsset and know for sure. Or being able to see someone's entire resume and portfolio and connect it to that portfolio, the connections that you can see within are so helpful. For me, it's been game changing in that source of truth, having one place to go, speeding up my workflow, and knowing exactly where I'm sourcing those key information. Addition of text libraries was game changing as well because that put all of my core content in one place. But I'm curious, I know you have the stats, Janelle, and I know our
Good.
marketers are data nerds and they want to know.
Yeah, so we've seen across case studies and talking with clients, and we also did a very extensive survey of over 900 AEC marketers where we found that teams who utilized OpenAsset reported up to a 30% reduction in proposal preparation time, which is huge. That cuts hours and hours and hours out of your days and weeks. So you can get back to the things that you love or the things that are really pressing or, helping another team that needs you directly by automating some of those tasks. And we've also seen a 22% improvement in proposal success rates, which is huge. And whether that's directly tied to the tool, or I could envision, hopefully, if someone's life is easier because of our tool, I'm hoping that that leads to more creative, better proposals, more creative and better work, and you doing more of the things you love. To me, that's what's most important is that you're able to show up to work and work your hardest and do what you love, but not feel like you're being completely squished and burnt out every single day. And so if our tool can be a small part of that success, that's really exciting to see.
I wouldn't say it's a small part. I think it's a pretty big part of that success. That admin burden of finding things takes away from strategy, which is what we all really want to be doing, is thinking through the strategic messaging. And yes, we can do so many cool creative things with proposals, even with super constraints. Being able to have the time back to do that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, this was really insightful, and I appreciate you having me on, Rochelle. Of course, any other topics that people have, feel free to drop them in our comments. We want to address the things that mean the most to you. And as we build new and exciting things at OpenAsset, tell us what you want to see more of so we can help provide that to you. Rochelle and I are conduits of change, and we want to help make that happen. But we need to hear from you to know what that is.
You got people on the inside, like Janelle said, conduits. So let us know how you want to shape things. Happy to answer any questions that's going to help a marketer do better, feel less burdened by proposals because they're rough, they're hard, they take a lot of effort and energy and insight. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, thank you so much for joining us for the Proposal Pulse. Janelle, thank you for chiming in today. Always nice to have someone to chat with. We really, really hope that these tips are helpful for you. And if you want more, of course, you can check out openasset.com. We've got tons of good stuff over there as well. So we'll see you for the next episode.